Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. So since it's Wednesday, we are halfway through our week and we are almost done with the month of April. I can't believe it. It has flown by, I think. So for today in our Journeys Reader's Notebook, Volume 2, we're going to start on page 37. Now, before we left school, we talked about contractions, where we take two smaller words, we put them together, a letter usually flies out, and then we put an apostrophe in its place, and we make a new word, and that's a contraction. So, kind of like if I would say, let's see, she and will. If I want to make a contraction out of she and will, I would say S-H-E apostrophe L-L. So those two letters flew out, in came the apostrophe, and then we have our L-L. Or what about if I wanted to make a contraction using he would, like he would like to go to the store. I keep he the same. Then I add my apostrophe, and guess what? All of those letters fly out, and I'm just left with the D. So he'd like to go to the store. So a contraction is kind of a way to shorten up what we want to say. Instead of saying he would like to go to the store, you could say he'd like to go to the store. So on page 37 today, you are going to be choosing a contraction from the word bank, from your choices here in the boxes, that complete the sentences that they give you. So your choices for contractions, we have he'd, she'll, I'd, they'll, and we'd. So you could say, let's look at the first one. It says, Ben said that blank be late today. So let's see what sounds right. Let's just try the first one. Ben said that he'd be late today. Hey, that sounds right. So I'm going to write he'd in the blank and cross it off. Now, number 2 says, Beth said blank go to the beach. I wonder what works. Which contraction would work there? Number 3 says, Mom and Dad said blank go out at 5. And number 4 says, Gus said blank like to play in the sand. And then the last one, number 5, says, we think blank like a day at the beach. So using those words, fill in those sentences. And then you're also going to do pages 38 and 39. Now, when you first look at this, you might think, oh my gosh, Mrs. Daniels, this is a lot. This is a lot of work. But you'll be fine. It's super fun and it's easy. So I think you'll be fine. Now, the page, or the part that you need to not do, it says, look at pages 98, 99, 104, 105, 107 to help you. We don't have the book to help us with that. So I just want you, either with your parent, to maybe research some of these if you're not sure, or just try your best. So it's talking still about our theme, where does food come from? So it wants you to tell where milk comes from, where bread comes from, where cheese comes from, and where tomatoes come from. If you think a farmer plants the tomatoes, write that on the line. If you think milk comes from cows, write that on the line. If you think cheese is made from milk, write that on the line. Am I giving too many hints? Just make sure you write it on the line. Next page is pretty fun because it says now it's time for breakfast. Draw foods on the plate. Any food. It can be your favorite food. Label them so I know what they are. And then it says write a sentence telling where that food comes from. So maybe you wrote about a pizza and you want to say, okay, the crust comes from flour, which comes from wheat. The sauce comes from tomatoes, and the vegetables come from a garden. So that's all you have to do today. Pages 37, 38, and 39. And I'll see you in just a second for math.